conversation. You know, like if like people are listening to this, they already know what it is. So it's like weird.
You know what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just woke up from a nap and Fizaa needs one, I think. Right?
Well, you know, I'm still on my like kick because
Still wired.
yeah, I've been up. This is my second all-nighter this week. So yeah, I've slept in between, but like, this is not. I'm not doing this for fun. It's just their deadlines that need to be met, and
Who does that for fun?
I mean, it's a lifestyle. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
You
guess
know,
people go out clubbing and then stay up all night.
I don't fucking know. You know, like that sounds like a nightmare. But yeah, it's been very interesting. It's just like I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen you in like a month.
Which is crazy.
In person, online, it's like I get notifications.
This is like our longest separation.
I know. I was telling
started.
Pallavi, like, oh, your absence is felt. And, like, it's just people always expect to see, like all of us at the shows. So, like, people ask about you. And it's just like, yeah, it's like, oh, I can't believe it's been two back-to-back shows, New York and LA.
Yeah.
Which were, like, both dope. But, like it would have been, it's
the trio.
Yeah, and it's just also, it's like, being down a producer also is like, it's such a, I think being a performer and a producer, it's just, there's such different skill sets, and I don't know, how do you juggle that?
I don't know. How do you juggle that?
Fucking, look, I didn't sleep. So I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
I'll say I don't have the answers.
I think I'm not as stressed maybe as you are on the day of, do you think?
Yeah, I get like, I just feel like a lot of pressure for the show to, like, just, I guess I think professionalism is important. So like, like just little things that make the show look, or the brand look less professional stresses me out. So I'm like, maybe I'm a perfectionist in that way.
I think I just turn into like, let's do the things we need to do mode.
Yeah. But then as a performer, I'm fucking loosey-goosey sometimes. Like, I'm me, which is not like, I wasn't born like, I don't know. Like maybe, I never expected to like do business shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, like that's everything really.
Yeah,
nowadays.
I know. I'm like, what part of your life did you expect? Because I'm at a place where I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
I know. I'm like, what is my life right now? And it's not bad. I was actually like feeling like really, like I feel good.
Good.
It could be the Adderall. I haven't like dropped off, but like I truly feel very grateful, and I feel like I have a lot of clarity, and like about sort of, I think, I wanted to get sort of like into. Have you watched Lily Singh's show?
I've watched clips of it, yeah.
So she talks about sexuality, and I thought like, oh, that's pretty, like, I've never seen that on television, like a brown, woman doing that.
Yeah.
And like
her intro to the very first show was her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like her literally having I don't know if you saw the episode, I'll send you the link, but like she has a whole segment on talking about how, I mean, it was to a point where like, fuck, I can't even do any of those jokes, but that's fine. I don't give a shit. Because like, to me, if someone else says similar jokes, it's like, oh, I just need to get more specific or just move on.
Yeah. But
I was like, oh, you know what? Like, it just made me, like, my little girl just felt like sort of like, oh my God, like she talked, like, this is like being talked about. It's not as taboo. So this is like sort of a subconscious response. Like, I'm like, so I'm sort of coming to terms with, like, I think you know what? I think maybe I'm sort of wired to be poly. Yeah.
Interesting. I feel like we've gotten hints of that from previous podcasts.
Yeah, I'm not like that's.
Episodes.
I know, it's just, this is not like a big like.
But that's cool. I mean, it takes a while to come to terms with stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess I've never used the term, but like, yeah, I think it's just so out there.
Yeah,
it's kind of out there. So it's like, when am I having this conversation anyway? You know.
When?
Yeah, when am I having this conversation unless I'm like bringing it up on stage? Like, you know, I'm not talking about my like, East Coast and West Coast daddies, like it's just, it's just, that was, That was unnecessary. Everyone must be treated with respect.
Wait, what are you saying?
I was like, is that disrespectful?
To call people daddies?
I mean, I think we
No,
have
I
to
think
look
they
at context.
like that. I think that's like a preferred word for people.
But like in the right context, like sometimes it might be disrespectful, Like as a comedian,
If it's like I'm gonna fuck your daddy, then yeah, probably.
But look, as a comedian, we might go there though, Like that shit might fall out of our mouth, and we might just think it's so funny in the moment, and then like we get canceled by the partner.
But for calling them
That's not
daddy,
funny.
oh, you think like so?
That's not funny.
If you think you're like with somebody and they're like I don't think there's any guy I know that would not want to be called daddy.
I just think it's easier to date multiple people. Like it's just
Look
more
at Paul's
efficient.
face right now.
It's just more efficient if they all have the same nickname. For the sake
You're
of
saying that
text.
they might be upset that they have the same nickname.
Would they?
I don't know. I feel like dudes
That's so
won't.
universal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I think.
I
guess
like how we're
I don't know,
going
it's
on
such
this
PC
hypothetical
culture
train.
that and like also being sort of on this side of the millennial thing. I'm like I don't know if I'm gonna say some dumb shit. So it's just like I was around a bunch of 20 somethings like really fucking woke as fuck, and I was like. It's almost like, okay, I look to you, like, if I say some, because it was like I was in a writer's room, and the writers were all, like, in their 20s, like me, like I was, but time is an illusion. I'll own it at some point when I want.
Your age?
Yeah, everything, yeah. I do, I'll just say I'm about to be presidential very soon. I never want to be president ever in life. That's a horrible job.
I feel like, yeah. Okay, I feel like we've gone like all over the place. Paul's like, what's happening? Okay, so
Is
you
it in a
figured
good
out
way or a bad way?
I just don't know what we're talking about. So you figured out your poly. Now we're on to like
I guess I hate labels.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's why I think you retreat from that, is that you don't want to label it, but that's like the closest thing to express it to other people. And then we've talked about, now we're on to like staying woke, right?
You're giving this a backbone. I love it.
I'm trying to figure out what we're talking about because it's been like all over the place.
Yeah, it's pretty off the chain.
So we're talking about staying woke. I will say I often get woke checks. Like people ask me about stuff that they were like, "Is this okay to say?" And then also I do that with other people in different like ethnic groups.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have to do it to stay afloat.
I mean,
to be kind to people.
Well, it's just like, there's no ego. It's just like, please let me know if I'm gonna horribly offend someone, because that's not my intention. Like when I'm saying some shit, it's not my intention to horribly offend someone. And if it does, it's like, it might not be worth it. So it's information.
Make that decision. Should we do an intro? We never did an intro.
Hey guys. This is the so-called Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. I'm Pallavi Ganalan. Now I'm playing.
No.
I'm Fizaa Dasani.
I'm Pallavi Ganalan.
Okay.
The reason we're like going all over the place, I was doing this like right before we started recording, is because we haven't seen, like we said, we haven't seen each other in a month.
Yeah.
And we're trying to like tell each other all of our thoughts and emotions.
Zara's doing some Hollywood shit. She'll be back. Not this episode, but she'll be back soon.
At some point.
She'll be back next episode. Unless we do a two-parter. I don't know what your time
I
constraints
might have to
are.
bounce before that.
Yeah, I have a show, but it's a bit later.
But yeah. Okay. So any more thoughts on like woke stuff?
Not really.
I feel like there's like people, I feel like even like on this podcast and in other situations, I've had people like derogatorily call me like a social justice warrior or like woke or whatever.
SJ Dub.
You're like, you're a social justice, not you, but people are like, oh, you're a social justice warrior, like blah, blah, blah. And it's just like.
Do you identify with that?
Well, I mean, the way that they're saying it is like they're thinking that I'm trying to be civil. Like I feel like there's like substantive issues that are associated with wokeness that I care about. And I also have like empathy for people as they like learn and grow. So I think when people derogatorily call me like woke or a social justice warrior, they're trying to dismiss like the substance of what I'm saying for like the proper terminology.
Yeah.
And there are people that are like, oh my God, you like said this word, and they're like upset or triggered or whatever. But it's like, if you know me, you know I'm not like, I care about issues and people more than I care about the right word.
Yeah.
Right. So in me like being upset about things and like communicating to people the correct words to use it, it's like, okay, now you have no excuse to like to not acknowledge people how they want to be acknowledged. Right?
Is it like unsolicited? Sometimes, because unsolicited feedback is often taken as criticism.
I mean, but people do that all the time. Like,
Yeah, no, I'm just
it's
saying, like,
a
it
lot
might
of it is
explain.
people.
It might explain the reaction, because people are going to
think I
feel
know how to-
however they feel.
I think I know
you
how to talk to people at this point. Like, I've definitely been
Yeah.
like angry and said shit at people in the past, but I think now I know how to like bring it up better. But also, it's like people who like say who like I don't want to have a filter, or like I don't want to do this, and like then they can't take it when you're like, hey, this is a real issue. This like hate speech actually leads to more hate crimes. Maybe like have an understanding of like this issue because you're clearly not around these people or like these, you know what I mean?
I guess if like the values don't align, like, it's just, if you have strong feelings about something, there's always gonna, other people who have strong feelings that might not align. But like usually when I hear the term social justice warrior, I think of like, oh, it has a negative connotation.
Yeah, it's like snowflake, liberal, like that sort of thing. And it's like, I mean, that's a cute way to insult me, but I'm still going to stand for the values that I have.
Yeah.
You know?
And I always respect that. I always felt like you have a code.
Well, you have to like adjust it and like, as you go forward and learn more things.
And you're a reasonable person.
There we go. That's why I feel like sometimes I am angry about stuff, and I kind of like both groups of people too, because like there are people that are like, come on, don't take shit too seriously, and I like feel that way in comedy and with some other things. But simultaneously, like the woke folks are like, hey, this fucking matters, and I'm like, and people are dying, and I'm upset about these things, and I'm like, yeah, and I don't want to. I'm definitely not like a moderate in any sense of the term, but in terms of like being super liberal, I would say I'm willing to like let people grow, but also like I'm very vocal.
And you're very sort of involved in politics.
I don't know if I'm very involved in politics. Like I don't
you follow it.
I pay attention, but I also like give myself breaks from shit. Like I can't read into any more mass shootings right now. Like I can't. Like I'm aware of. I follow like activists and stuff on Twitter to be aware of things. Like, was it yesterday? A black woman was shot in her house unarmed because police were called and they shot her through the window. And like not everybody knows about that.
It's just that there's so much. If God, do we even have like the capability to process the input of everything that happens now? Like,
no, you have to.
Wow, it's a lot. It's enormous.
You have to like pick and choose, but you also have to like. I think it's good to like know the facts and like be aware of like what's actually happening. You know what I mean?
I get like news alerts,
yeah.
so I don't like seek news stuff out, because also I feel like politics, like I take everything sort of with a grain of salt, because unfortunately, like this game, this theater, this policy affects people, in ways that, can hurt them.
Yeah.
But it's just, to me, it's like it's just, people with money and power playing.
Yeah. But I think that there are also people who worked their way into the system.
Yeah, for sure. But it's like in a system that's not really built for them, so that's not going to be.
It's gonna be harder to fight.
Yeah, like that's just.
Yeah.
It's like good. I think everyone sort of has like their focus that resonates with them, and I think it's great that like having people on the ground. I think like for me, it's so much that it's just give me the headlines.
Yeah, but then I think that the way people spread information, like a lot is lost in the headlines, and it's also like a thing. It's a similar thing in me.
Or send me a good article,
Yeah,
like
it's a similar thing in me where I see like celebrity gossip, and part of me is like, what the fuck happened? And I like click into the link, and I'm like, like I want to know. I have that same thing with like political moves, or maneuver. So I'm like, what does this mean? Like, what did this happen? Like, and it's a curiosity, I think. But it's a similar, like, when obviously politics are more serious and there's like more tragedy and stuff involved.
Every time I seek out celebrity knowledge, it's like a huge red flag for myself that like I'm in a really dark place.
It's kind of like yeah, it's either like it's your guilty pleasure or like you've been working too hard or whatever. Or sometimes it's just good for jokes and like keep on top of shit.
Yeah, totally. It's like anything it's just funny because like I'm hyper sort of aware just because I know like I'm not the most I don't like I wasn't born on third base when it comes to like mental and emotional health. And this is not
that takes a home run, right?
Yeah, I don't even like sports.
You need
so
like
I'm
a
hoping
home
that
run
metaphor
to get born, I think.
Oh yeah, because there's bases. Oh, look at that. That's really funny. See, okay, I like this micro and macro perspective. It's of like everything. I like it's all like it's words, man. Words are so approximate.
That's an interesting. I missed my Fizaa-isms.
Yeah, man. It's been a minute. It's crazy because it's like I'm not used to like, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
And by a minute, I mean like a month.
What's happened with you? What's been going on? You've been working really hard. But other than that, personal life, what else has been going on?
Well, not it like that's the thing is like I'm kind of like private about details, but seeing different people and I think like for me I'm learning sort of what I like and why I like it, so I'm like hyper aware. Like I was joking around with one of them and I was just like, my sexual preference is couples. And then like I wasn't even thinking when I said that. And then I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm trying to triangulate a relationship so I can get an idea of what a healthy relationship is until like, maybe I will want a one-on-one relationship. I don't know, I don't fucking know, but I'm curious.
That's interesting. You're like, you want to see what a stable relationship looks like.
Sure, mommy and daddy. No, I mean,
oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, we getting into it.
Yeah, nah. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Jokes. I mean,
people.
stemming from life, but we say dumb shit. I'm a goddamn fool.
So that's cool. So you've been living life.
Yeah, man. That's what? That's what it is. I've been trying. Like, it's like I feel like sometimes and a lot of us, maybe it's a cultural thing, or I don't fucking know, work ourselves to the bone.
Yeah.
Also, it's like, we come to LA not because we want to play in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
We want to play in the major leagues. So it's like, you want to play in the major leagues, you got to fucking work.
Yeah.
Or like, work hard, work smart, whatever, but you got to work.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I just, any moment I sort of get in between, I've been trying to like
live life.
I've been watching porn a lot too.
So what? Wait, is it a healthy level? Because I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, I'm having an awareness, so I'm just noticing that like, oh, okay, like I did have an urge, like I felt stressed about something and I was like, oh, let me just go jerk off and watch porn. And then I was like, oh, this is not a good time to do that because it's, I don't want this to be in response to this.
Oh,
whatever was happening in the moment. And then also it's like I was doing some research. I was like, is porn bad for you? And it's like, I'm like coming from
ChristianMothers.com.
Yeah, exactly, dude. So I'm just like, but then I'm reading like science shit too.
Oh, okay.
Science shit. And shit, I mean that in the most loving way.
Yeah.
Like
I say shit in the most loving way all the time.
yeah, totes. So I don't know, like I was looking it up and it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I think everything in moderation, but that's the thing is like, if you can't come without porn, then it's like, oh, that's a little bit of a crutch.
Do you feel that way?
No, I sometimes I'm familiar with that. Like
but also it's tough because
I had a long relationship with
porn,
with sex. Really?
It's also tough because it's like, is it that I can't come without porn, or is it that I can't come with men? You know what I mean?
That's funny. But you know what? I've come by myself without porn.
I think it's a man issue.
But porn is efficiency.
Porn is
Porn is like
helpful.
Yeah, it's like I need to fucking get where I need. But like the thing is, it's like a drug too, because like okay, you need more and more and more. Well, I don't know if other people, but I find
don't feel
myself.
that way. I watch it like every once in a while, but I don't like. I like. Yeah, I don't need it. I think do you know what's so dumb? I use like fantasy a lot, like me in my own mind. But it's like there's so many. Unless I'm like feeling really good with a person,
Yeah.
I have to like build a fantasy that logically makes sense. In terms of like their shortcomings or stuff that upsets me, I have to like justify and move. I have to build a full fucking story in my head to justify their behavior, and then it gets sexy. It's so stupid.
I just want to say like so bad, and like that's so you.
I know. I have to be like, oh, this guy like ghosted me, but his dick was great. So like, I have to like justify the ghosting through this fantasy, and then move on from it.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
Is it a lot of work?
It sometimes is. Yeah. Why can't we leave on good terms so I can fantasize about you faster later?
You gotta find more. You gotta get more options.
I know. I need more options.
Options
I'm
are
going
out there,
on a
man.
maybe date on Wednesday. I don't know if it's a date. Okay, let me. This guy, we match on Tinder, right? Super hot lawyer dude.
Tinder?
I use it to talk to people just to fill my time.
You are dangerous, girl.
I'm not. I literally never go on dates. The last date I went on was in like January, I think. February. It's October.
When's the last time like you've like been intimate with a person?
Around that same time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why That's why
what? I've been talking to people since then. I just don't go on dates.
Yeah.
But the conversation started and he made like some joke about us dating.
Yeah.
And me being a comic or whatever. And then it was just really sporadic. And then it got to the point where he was like, okay, so what are you here for? And I was like, well, probably not something super casual because that hasn't worked out well in the past. And then he was like, oh, well, I'm not ready for a relationship. And I was like, yeah, like every dude in LA. And then he was like, well, can we like at least like have a friendship first? And I was like, well, that's not what Tinder is for, but you're hot, so okay. I literally messaged him that.
Yeah.
And then we've been sporadically talking over the last like month and a half maybe.
This guy, the same guy.
Yeah, the same guy.
And he's not, is he local?
Yeah, he's in LA.
Oh.
Well, I don't know where in LA he lives, but he's like in LA somewhere. But like, it literally would be like we'll chat a lot for like a couple hours and then not for like 2 weeks. And it's because I like wait for him to initiate because I'm also just like I'm not gonna put effort in with a fucking stranger.
Yeah.
Because I have other shit to do.
Does he listen to the podcast?
I don't think so. He has a very.
It'd be funny if he does.
It'd be funny.
So many people, like random people.
Hey, dude, is this a date?
I mean, seriously, get back to us.
Get back to us in the comments, please.
Fucking,
I don't think he doesn't have social media. He has like a LinkedIn.
Okay, so he also is a serial killer. Got it.
Or a nerd.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
One or the other.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Well, it's just
Nerds are like that.
Has he been one that's been pushed over the edge? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Is he the new Joker? We'll find out.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I saw it too. What did you think?
I liked it. I really enjoyed it. It was.
I thought the first half was like very forced. Like the first part, it was like it went from not knowing the character to him like, you know what I mean? I felt like there wasn't enough like character development in the first part. And then the second part, I was like, oh, this is more interesting.
I have maybe a little more suspension of disbelief when I go into a movie than you, but I think that's like maybe a personality.
Yeah, maybe, but it's not. I don't think I have it with like characters or people. Like I think like I have that with like if they bring up a science thing, then I'm like, just fucking do it right. But like, but this had none of that.
You didn't buy it though, basically.
No, I think it just like there were like moments where he was like dancing in the bathroom, and I'm like, this is too much. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, look, I relate so much to mental illness, so I honestly was like, I get it, man.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, and I think there are people out. It's just, and that's what I thought. Is it beautifully depicted? You know, what happens, you know, like if someone doesn't have resources and how, you know, mental illness is so prevalent. I thought it was so well done because basically, like, I don't know, actually an ex said this and I thought it was funny, but he said he thinks all homeless people are just actors who don't have a support system.
Yeah, maybe.
So I for that reason, I thought it was a really thoughtful origin story, and it made me feel. I felt something. And I love Joaquin Phoenix as an actor.
I think he's a good actor. I feel like I don't like him as a person from the stories that I've heard.
I don't like a lot of art. I
Yeah.
don't. For me, like, don't meet your heroes. Like, it's unless like it's gonna be a big headline if they do something fucking horrific. But
Yeah.
like, it's until then.
I think a lot of artists that I really love, I would never want to hang out with because I'm like, ugh, you must be so boring. like their lives are so their talent is so interesting. But like if you were to go to brunch with them, I feel like they'd be like so in their heads and like so like
I
hard to
separate
talk
it so
to.
much. Like I really do, because it's like there's the
Totally
art,
different things, yeah.
and then there's the person who makes it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not the same thing.
Yeah. But I don't know. I liked the last half of it. I thought that was more interesting. I also like how they tied in Bruce Wayne.
You
Because
like
I
it
always
when
love
shit hits the fan.
it was wild. But it was also like I was like ah like in the theater. But
Yeah.
like violence. Like I'm like ah it scares me. But I don't know. I like the second half. There was one lady who throughout the whole thing was just like casually like nodding her head and clapping and being like, and I was like, that bitch scares me.
Oh, that was me.
That was you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. That's when you were
I
like
saw it twice.
when you were like, I get it. I was like,
Yeah.
Fizz, can we check your bags?
Yeah. I mean, you're always welcome to check my bags. I mean, or I don't know. I was thinking about like anyway. 'Cause I haven't slept in I don't even want to count because I think it would frighten me. And I have a show tonight, so
Oh God.
so I don't even want to take
Get-
into account. But
get there.
this is the grind, people. This is the hustle. Like, people think Hollywood's like so glitzy and
So much of it is sleep deprivation.
yeah. If someone's fucking killing it, they're probably fucking also like almost dead.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
they're
that's
working-
why you have to get your mental
I'm
health
just kidding.
shit together before you get famous.
Man, that's been like
A
my
process.
entire life.
Yup.
Oh my god. Thus far.
All right, what else is happening? I was at a conference for my dad.
Yeah, so you missed 2 shows.
I missed the New York show because I was in Portland for a gig that I was getting paid for that I got
Yeah.
a long time ago. So and it was for a good cause. It was
So you
for
had a pre.
Join PDX. It's a eliminating homelessness organization. And then I was in Miami. I held a fucking alligator.
Oh, you were in Miami?
I was in Miami,
Oh,
bitch.
I love that city. Oh,
I
my
went to the
God.
Everglades. I held a fucking alligator. I saw a wall of wind at FIU.
Oh my god! How does it? What month is it right now?
It's October.
Oh, so it's like probably. Is it hot? Was
It
it
was
muggy?
it was hot. It wasn't as humid as I thought it was. I fucking I loved all of the
August
Cuban
is tough.
influence. Like I was
oh
like
my god!
like you see it on TV and stuff, and you're like, oh, this is like there's like heavy influence, and you go there and you're like, oh shit, it's like what it is.
So
And
much
it was
culture.
so fun.
Caribbean.
And I only got
South
to
American.
I only got
love
to
it.
go out like once with the like younger members. It was for the American Society of Civil Engineers, ASCE, shout out. And I got to go out like one night, and I was super bummed because I wanted to go out like the last night so that I could like because I had nothing the next because we had as family members of the new president, we had all these responsibilities. I taught an improv workshop at 8 a.m. on a Sunday. We had
Wow.
60 people there. It was dope. But yeah, so it was like a lot, and I wish I had more time to like explore the city. But shout out to the younger members in Miami because they were super hospitable and tried to go out.
We did have a comic reach out a while back. Who was interested in us bringing the show there. So maybe
Oh yeah, maybe we
I
should do that. That would be so fun.
I love that city.
I want to go hang out there, man.
Oh,
It
love
took all in me.
Miami.
I didn't go to any of the comedy things. 4 days of family stuff, and I was just like,
I just like I went to college in the city, so it was
Yeah.
just like it was such a formative time in such a like a culturally rich city.
I went to the Wharf, Miami. Have you been there?
What? No, it sounds
It's like
fancy.
it's not. It's kind of like a open air. It's like right on the next to the water, and it's like a club area, and then they have
Miami
like table
Beach?
tennis.
like South Beach.
It's not South Beach. I don't remember exactly what that area is called, but it was fun and
Up
it
by
was
the
like
water.
packed. Yeah. And it was like they were playing all this music. It was great. It was so fun.
I love the vibe there.
But at
the
the
air.
at the conference, like every single talk they were talking about climate change, civil engineers, because they're like, okay, everybody else is like upset about activism. We have to figure out what we're gonna do when this shit hits. So they were like talking about like solutions to it actually being like, they were talking floating cities. They were talking how to deal with everything. It was super interesting
So have to sort of be in that mode
to address what they believe will be an eventuality.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any, because there's tolls for every job. Like there's a toll for it. Like my sister, shout out to Farah. She just had a story on NPR.
Farah, you have
sister.
an NPR story,
And she's also a neurologist.
Yes.
And she's younger than me. No, but she works in the medical field, and her first documentary, and she's also a journalist. Her first documentary is on death and dying, and how health professionals deal with that.
Wow.
So and I don't even, because I just grew up around chaos. It's just everyone's a personality.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say everything diplomatically because I love my family. But it's just I can imagine that must be stressful to think of doomsday constantly.
Well, I think that they were actually, because I think a lot of engineers and scientists are optimistic. I think it's very different than being a medical doctor, because I think a lot of medical doctors, they get a lot of patients come in and lie to them or whatever in order to get what they need.
It's a lot of pressure.
And then there's also death and dying and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But with engineers, it's you're building shit. So it was I think I was shocked because I'm a biomedical engineer. I hadn't seen the way that they'd addressed this, and I was like, damn, this is sad that they have to build floating fucking that we have to go to the ocean.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. It's super fascinating. I had
floating cities.
I have a science tech highlight on my Instagram, and I have an explanation of all of that on there. I took pictures of the slideshows, and it's pretty cool. If you want to go see it. But yeah, it's floating. But they were like, yeah, but this is a way to solve another problem. They were more optimistic about it. They were more yeah, this is just another solution we need to find for the environment we live in and for what's happening and the stuff that we need to address. So they weren't looking at political issues as much. They were like, okay, this shit's happening.
It wasn't emotionally charged. Everyone's sort of able to.
It was excitement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's excitement because it is a lot of really cool technologies and solutions. I saw their virtual reality explanation of it, and then I also went and was one of the people in their workshop trying to come up with solutions.
So is this all? Was there a range, worst case scenario to more preventative?
They already they have a prediction of what it's going to look like in I think 2030, 2050, 2070.
They have a trajectory.
Yeah, they have a trajectory, and then they have a whole model recreated that we went through the VR and everything, and it's how they're going to use wind and solar, kelp factories.
Humans are incredible.
Yeah, it's really incredible. There's definitely so many more things. I think it's.
Can't believe I said that in 2019.
Humans are incredible. There's definitely going to be.
But that's that's people are doing that shit.
Yeah,
and I say shit lovingly again.
It's definitely there's so many more questions to answer, but they've recreated. This is models. I'm showing Fizaa models right now of the underwater aspects, and the guy who consulted for Minority Report, Alex McDougall. I think his company is called Experimental Design, but he's he gave a keynote speech about it, and then there was all these workshops and stuff. But it's just really interesting. They asked us, they're like, what is medicine gonna look like? And we were like, okay, there's definitely gonna be chips in certain people that read their because they already do that for diabetes.
So
and
chips are coming.
They're already here for diabetes and other things, but it's to sense our homeostasis, how we are, and then there's personalized robots. Okay,
I hear chips and my antenna goes out.
Yeah, well, there's probably already one. No, I'm kidding.
There it is.
But then there are people who don't buy into it. So I was like, what about the homeless people?
Have I really not seen you for a month?
I know. I don't know. It's all a simulation. But I was like, there are going to be people who don't trust the system, and homeless people. There's still going to need to be personalized medicine. People who won't talk to robots. We'll
So
probably all have house
efficiency.
robots. Yeah, it's how do we see it? That's what the whole thing was. Like, how do we see the future? What are the solutions? With the technology moving the way it is, where are we going to be at?
And maybe there's something to take into consideration, like more preventative things. 'Cause I think like some people are worried about like, privacy and this and that. So like that, I think
So this isn't their goal. There are other
it's
people that are
different. It's
working on
separate.
preventative,
Yeah.
and their goal is like,
It's a
what
different
are
team.
the tech solutions? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's so much to consider always.
Yeah, it's just really, and so we were addressing like hospitals
Yeah.
and okay, so if transport's mostly going to be above ground and below ground, and things are going to be dropped off with drones, how is foot traffic going to work? Are people still going to eat for fun? Like, it's just all of these things,
Wow.
that it was so interesting and eye opening, and like now at
What
first.
would foot traffic look like? Like boats and stuff?
Well, I mean, it would be a floating city, so you could walk on the city.
Oh, like
but then-
boardwalks.
Yeah, or it's like it's man-made island basically. So it's like
Oh.
that you can walk, but for a lot of the like flying cars, all of that stuff, how do we reduce fatalities? Oh, maybe there are pre-designed pathways. Maybe it's all public transport. Maybe the only private transport is for people with like disability. Stuff like
Is there
that.
a consensus right now, like a leaning?
It is brainstorming sessions.
Oh, okay.
So they
early.
have their design that they took us through, and then they asked us to participate in brainstorming sessions. So these were
Wow.
solutions that my group came up with.
Wow.
Yeah. So these were like it's like you have to think of everything.
That's dope.
You have to recreate everything that we have in a way that addresses all of these issues in the future. And like maybe we could use all the waves and the air, all the storms that are going to increase as a method of harnessing power.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we design things that absorb that and utilize? It was just, by the end of it, I was like, oh, I am inspired by like
Yeah.
what's gonna come. But it's like we need other people working on like preventing that, so we have time to like build this shit.
Just so much to consider.
Yeah.
So this seems pretty organized.
Yeah. So ASCE is working with this group. I think they're called Experimental Design. I forget, but this group that's they're collaborating on it, and it's a lot of like architects and stuff like building their vision of it, and then like engineers are, I think, like consulting, and they're just trying to figure out. It's called Future World Vision. It's like a push by ASCE
Yeah.
to figure out what to do. But it's just interesting. And then it's like, how is governance going to work? How is currency going to work? How is food?
How
what
is
crops?
currency gonna work?
I don't know. I think a lot of it's going to be digital. So I think that the currency like
Chips?
exchange. Well, I mean, we have like Bitcoin, Venmo, all of that stuff now. I don't think there's going to be as much hard currency.
But I mean, like, it seems like there's efficiency with chips, but that also sort of like kind of freaks me out.
The privacy issues. And
Well, because it's also like we don't really know what's going. And it's like there's a whole system, and like every people have their own agendas and stuff, and it's like it's like in you.
yeah, that's another thing. Is
It feels a little invasive.
Yeah, but I mean, people already have like electrodes in them and stuff right now.
Yeah.
For like deep
Some
brain
people.
stimulation, a lot of like patients and stuff. So it's like
More for like health reasons, right? Not
yeah,
for
but that's how I mean, yeah, there's going to be like health reasons and monitoring your body's health, and then there could be it used for, like what people thought Google Glass was going to be. Like, remember
Oh.
Google Glass? Did you remember this?
Is it when
It's
you like sort of see it like in the movie?
No, it's like the glasses that
Yeah.
Google made, and you could see all the things like you're saying, but it's like everybody was like, this is the next thing, and it just fucking died off. Like nobody wanted to wear it. People were
Tech,
mad
man.
at the people wearing it because they were at a like
I don't-
different tax bracket.
I don't watch like 3D movies because I don't like putting shit on my face.
Yeah,
Like I'd rather not.
yeah. But-
So
But yeah, they're you have to build the system so that it also accommodates for people who don't want that option. So it's like there's still going to be like some personalization, some like off the grid people. But honestly, like I think a lot of people, it's the same with social media. Like we all bought in. Like you might be suspicious of these like probes or whatever, but
I loved social media when it first started.
yeah, and now
But, like-
now you're like, don't show me the shoes I thought of, right?
I kind of
Yeah.
don't even mind anymore. Like I don't think there really is.
I think that's what's going to
Privacy?
happen.
I
Yeah.
just
It's just another form of it.
it's like, okay, we're basically cyborgs with our phone. If someone like I don't it doesn't feel right for me not to be without my phone.
Yeah.
I keep stuff in the cloud. Like I used to have a I don't know. I used to remember a lot more shit.
Yeah, now imagine if you didn't have
anymore.
to carry it around or charge it or transfer files
But
to
if
it.
it's in you,
That's what I'm saying.
you don't have an option. That I don't like that. And maybe like, I don't know what's going to go on in the future generations, but like I'm not excited to experience that. And maybe, I don't know when is that going to happen? Is there like a time frame?
I think it depends on the technology. I'm not sure. I am excited about the health aspects of it because I do think that there are a lot of like old people, young people that can't communicate, and then we can get
That's
that information directly from their bodies. I think that'll be good. But I mean, with that, like all of these things are going to be integrated, right? We already have apps on our phone that tell us about our personal health. That like it's just going to be miniaturized and put in us.
Yeah, it's just
Sensors. It's to me, it's a piece of tech. So like I understand like there are like signals that are going to be sent to and from it, and there going to be ways to turn that off.
But can you ever really turn it off?
Yeah, I mean our phones die. Like you can.
We don't know what technology is gonna look
We
like.
don't know, but I'm gonna pay attention.
Yeah, keep me posted.
In 2040, when we're on episode 6 million, something I don't know, I'm bad at math.
I mean, look, maybe
I know
at that
I'm
point
stupid.
I'll be like, I want my chip for health reasons. I'll be like, fuck it.
What if it dispensed weed very easily?
And I probably living a wholesome life.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just really interesting. It was just really interesting to like see it. But yeah, there's gonna be all security questions too. And
That's super fascinating.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see like you're focused on health largely.
That's how I've always been, and
Yeah.
I've like that's why I'm a biomedical engineer. But
It's my sister's sort of very health focused too in her journalism.
I just don't think people should have to worry about their health. Like life is fucking hard. There are all these solutions we don't have yet for like cancer and Alzheimer's and stuff. So it's like the stuff that we do have, like you should have immediate access to it. Like you shouldn't have to pay for it. We have the resources. It's literally just like policy and fucking people in power.
100.
Yeah.
100.
Yeah.
It's really
cruelty.
like, if we weren't so like accustomed to it, it's pretty outrageous.
Did you?
That's why I enjoyed the Joker, because like mental and emotional health, I think, is severely neglected, and it's there's not a whole lot. It's new. People are just starting to do research on it, and it's just there's so much suffering around it, and it does come down to healthcare.
Yeah.
And and that's like, I think it is important to like acknowledge our privileges, and like that's a big privilege I had. Was I grew up in a family that worked in healthcare, so I always had
good
access.
Healthcare. I was off insurance for a month this year, like a month ago, and it was the first time I hadn't had insurance ever in my life, ever. Like,
were you really careful? I haven't seen you this month, so I don't know. Were you?
I wasn't. I was like, I was taking trips and shit, and I was just like, welp. Like, there was something that I did that was like really risky. I can't remember what it was in that month, but it was like, I was just like, I can't believe this is happening to me right now. I really hope I get through this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know people who have the opposite. People who've never had healthcare and are just getting it.
There are I know a lot of people in that boat as well.
From that boat to the floating city.
Oh my God.
Speaking of politics, have you heard the stuff about the Kurds?
What's going on?
So the Kurds were our allies in defeating or fighting ISIS, and they have thousands of prisoners of ISIS. And then 2 days ago, I think Trump pulled out his troops because Turkey asked them to, and now Turkey is slaughtering the Kurds, our allies.
Oh my God.
And then I think the Kurds might be turning to our enemies.
Well,
Russia
if
and
you
like other places.
Destroy people, then you create desperation, and desperation creates.
But they also continued to fight and protect beyond after he made that decision. So they were like, the Kurds are like we're really good fucking people and our allies, and now they're being like slaughtered because of us. After they did so much for us.
That's awful.
That's like the latest thing that's fully enraged me.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been seeing some headlines.
Yeah.
But like, then with the shootings peppered in between, it's like it feels like a comic book in a way. Like we're in like some graphic novel.
The dark version, the dark timeline.
The pre-chips thing.
Yeah.
The prequel.
I don't know. We were talking politics, and I was like, that's the latest thing that's pissed me off. We're so bad at foreign policy.
But there's like, with every era, there's always some issue. It's just like, it's just what are we doing with our time here? Like with, with the cards we've been dealt, what can we do? Like what's our priority? What drives us? What are we passionate about?
Yeah.
Like that's an interesting question because like, you are a scientist and then you like, started doing like comedy for real. So it's like, that's,
Well, I think like it's, there is part of me that feels like I'm an activist, but even though I haven't really done like activism stuff, it's just like being vocal about stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I like bring shit up on this podcast, is because I know we have some listeners in like Iowa. I just found out this weekend.
Awareness is important.
Yeah, so we gotta tell people what's happening.
Yeah, like that's the thing is if something's like important to us or like you or me, like let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're doing that. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about today?
There's always like
What else
there's
you want
like
to talk about?
I haven't seen
like
you in
I've
a
been talking
month.
to-
There's like it's
I'm going on a date.
You are? Oh
I'm
yeah,
in a
yeah. Your
weird
first date
thing.
since January.
My first date. It's like February maybe. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is it? Do I be myself, Fizaa? You've been dating people recently.
It depends. What are you looking for?
I definitely don't want to put effort in. I'll put effort into like
A friend, like, do you want to have sex with this person?
probably eventually, but I don't. I'm tired of like casual shit because it just ends so poor. I have such negative results from it.
So then I think like maybe hold off on that and get to know the person before
I'm gonna
getting,
do
because if
that.
someone like good
I'm gonna
dick will fuck you
try.
up. It will.
And I
Even
bet
like
it'll
okay
be good
dick.
too.
If you haven't, it's all relative. So like, there
I
might be
haven't
some
had dick in a
okay dick.
minute,
There might be some
so-
shit dick that fucks you up because it's just been a
Because what that mouth
soggy
do.
year or not dry,
dry year.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm learning. This is
Are these-
the blind. I can't like I don't know.
How are you meeting these people that you're dating?
They're just like I don't want to go into details, but this always happens. It's just people that are already sort of in my life. It's 'cause I don't really go out of my way to date. I've never really have because it's never been my focus.
Yeah.
I've never like I want to go fall in love. I was in like that long ass relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to say it like I'm the whole ball and chain, but like we're still like in a relationship. It's just a different type of relationship.
Yeah.
It's like a family thing. But like for me, I don't know. I'm not really seeking out
The thing is,
that. I feel like I have support. That's the thing. I feel like I have support. I have like sort of a family of my choosing. So like I'm just sort of like I'm just having fun, really.
that's good. For me, it's like the reason I go on these dating apps and stuff is because I'm like, don't fuck up what's in your life. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, don't burn these bridges. Don't burn these bridges. This is gonna end poorly. It's like an aversion thing.
Oh my god! But if you say that, like you're sort of
Yeah.
like that's become sort of like what the subconscious.
It's a
like running-
negative feedback loop.
Yeah. Yeah, and also like I don't want to say like I'm just trying to have fun. I'm open minded. I'm just sort of like learning
All right, so
about myself and others.
so don't give him the pussy. What else you got for?
And
Give me advice.
based on what you want, like from what I'm hearing that you
Yes,
want.
I want to have something more substantive than something casual.
date
right
multiple
now.
guys.
Oh, that's too many nights of dates. I can't. I'm barely doing
Don't
one.
worry about the
I'm
date.
talking to multiple people on
Yeah,
dating apps. Is that good?
yeah,
Okay, that's good.
Just be involved with
Other
multiple-
things. Not all my eggs in one basket.
exactly because that's what I'm learning is like I don't I'm maybe that's the issue is expecting to find sort of everything in one guy. Like is that natural?
I don't think you. But that's the thing is like
natural.
finding is a thing. Like I'm not seeking anything, so it's just like it should all just be a bonus. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't need to find anything in someone. It's just
Yeah.
like I want it to be like fun and positive.
Well, I think with labels, there's like expectations, societal expectations, and it's like some things just don't feel natural.
Yo, my dad's colleague this weekend was like, "Do you have a family?"
That's what I'm saying. It's
I was like,
you know,
no, I have my dog. Like, I have my roommates because my brother's fiance came
yeah.
to the thing, and so they all met her. And he was like, "Do you have a?" I was like, laughed in his face. I was like, "A family?" I was like, "My parents and my brother." Like, I was so confused.
I know. It's like, yeah. So it's not. We're not living sort of this. I'm learning how to talk about this stuff. You know,
Yeah,
it's cool. It's pretty cool.
it is pretty cool.
I can give you like details after this.
Oh,
But, like,
yeah, we're
I'm not trying
gonna
to put my business out there.
I
That
want to.
gets-
I
that's-
want to at some
that
point put
makes
all
it
my
messy.
business out there. Why can't we? I want to talk shit about everybody. I want to. Well, not talk shit, but like say how I feel. This is how I feel. Like there's family stuff that I can't talk about because I feel like it would jeopardize some things, and I'm like, fuck. I just want to say it.
I guess it's just figuring out like what the boundaries are and what it is. Like for me, I feel like broadcasting
I know.
relations is like it
There's
doesn't help.
always consequences, but I just wish I could be honest.
Well, yeah, I think
be open.
you can be honest and open, but like, you know, it's maybe protecting the privacy
I
of
hate
the
that.
individual.
I hate
but-
that. Why can't we be the Wayans family where all of us are out there?
Hilarious, yeah.
And why can't we? Why can't we monetize this shit? Or I guess then you turn into the Kardashians.
Well, I just like
too
look.
much.
I don't want someone to put my shit on blast. So it's like I just sort of wouldn't do it to. It's like sort of treat others how you want to be treated.
What
type
kind
of,
of
shit.
what do you? I'm thinking like I talk about the stupid shit I do. What would I be ashamed of to be put out there at this point?
Wait, what?
If my parents had access to a podcast and they were like broadcasting shit, what would I be embarrassed of them talking about me? Because it's all gonna be through their lens. So I'm like, you guys say shit about me that I don't agree with already. So like,
Yeah, you might not be like, because
would I care? Like, I don't know.
you might be like, I'm kind of like private about like my personal life and stuff. Because I'm also like, you know, I'm like I have to do a lot of self-care around mental health and emotional health.
Yeah.
So it's just like, to me, I don't need more input about things that are personal and already very triggering to me that I'm learning about. So like for me, you know, things that are like close to me and I'm affected by, I'm like, I know what I want to, you know, I'm conscious about what I want to talk about, what I'm ready to talk about, what I'm not.
I think I literally like I'm getting better at this, but I also do this probably more than I should. I just like walk away from people when they start talking about,
Yeah, dude,
or I
that's
just
the
like end the
best.
conversation, which is not the nicest thing. But I don't want your fucking advice, like, or I make fun of them on Twitter or something, you know, like, or I just ignore it. There was someone who got in a Twitter. Ooh, we'll talk about this. There was someone who got in a Twitter beef with me because I read their like tweets on a podcast. Did you hear about this?
No.
It's a podcast you've been on, and I read their tweets because they.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, people listen to. Because wait, is it the one I think it is?
The one where you sometimes like co-host or you're on it a lot. We talked about this.
Oh
recently.
yeah.
That person's one of their podcasts. I was on it, and this guy, the person who hosted said that this guy was being ridiculous, and he's like, you know, has a troublesome political beliefs. So I started reading his tweets in like a kind of make fun of him kind of way. But I didn't like looking back on it. It was kind of mean girlsy, but like I didn't think he had a full fucking meltdown and then deactivated his Twitter, and I just like ignored the whole thing because I was just like, I don't care. Like,
Plus the thing is like I think I'm conscious about like harming people. It's just like, okay, if my actions do have consequences and I can be aware of them, then I would prefer that, because it's just sort of like, I don't know, it's that Burning Man mentality, like sort of leave things as they were or better.
yeah, but it's also like I don't tolerate intolerance. So it's like if this person has these views that are harming people, then like I don't think me making fun of their tweets on a podcast is like a big deal. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, not to you, but to him. And this is no
Well,
judgment. Like, I'm just saying,
yeah,
like,
obviously to him it was a big deal, but like I don't care. Like I don't care about certain people's opinions because their overall like political views actually harm people. So like that's the thing. It's like sometimes I'll care about the person or like the whatever, but it's just like sometimes I'm like, listen, if I if I were to have empathy for you, it would like hurt other people. You know what I mean?
Well, I just see beyond that. I just see like, oh, this is a person, and I don't have to like agree with the person to like treat them with respect and dignity.
But it's that Ellen thing. Did you see the whole Ellen thing that went down where she was sitting next to George W. Bush at a baseball game, and then she got backlash for it, and then she addressed it and said that he was her friend, and then people were like, how can you be friends with a war criminal and one who was like, anti-LGBTQ everything. So she got a lot of backlash of it, and it's like if you are kind to some people, that is inherently being unkind to others.
Well, then
So
it's just like
it's
maybe
like that,
keep it private if you don't want to create drama.
that's what I'm saying. Is like I didn't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Like I had a twinge of like, oh, I don't want to hurt this person, but it was also like his reaction was so out there that I was just like, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the tweets were, but like when
Yeah.
someone puts tweets, it's public, so it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, all that shit is like, but yeah, I don't know. So he was very upset.
He was
and
very upset, and then
deactivated-
he deactivated because everybody went back at him because his response was like very large.
yeah.
So, but my thing on that one was I just ignored it, and then it just like went away. Like,
Yeah.
at first I was like, oh no, this is not great, and then I was like, and then it went away
Yeah.
because it was such a crazy response. But that should
sign
happen,
of the times.
right?
Yeah, man. See, like all this, like Twitter beef, all that shit seems like it would like beef stresses me out. Like I don't really want to have active beef with anyone.
Would you say you're conflict avoidant?
I can be, but also it's like I don't. If I know how to cope, if I have the tools to cope with something in the moment, I prefer that. But I've not always had those tools. But it's just like that's the work, right? The lifelong work.
Yeah, but I think also at some points you need to take stands for yourself and other people, and some
Yeah,
people are
why not?
difficult to deal with, and you have to vocalize that, and they're not going to accept it, and they're not going to respond well, and then you just have to, like, I wouldn't say I'm conflict avoidant. I like to take time now, definitely now. In the past, I've been, like, reactive, but now I like to try to take time, like, a day or two to think about stuff and, like, get some sleep in that point, but often, like, sometimes you don't have time, and in the moment you have to just, like, be like, am I going to stand up for myself? Like,
Yeah, look, that's like got to be you.
yeah.
And like that's like I said, you have your ethics, and that's I think that's good. Like you have like sort of you're a person with integrity. You have your integrity. Like you know what you feel is right or what feels wrong.
Yeah.
So it's like, and not everyone's going to always agree with that.
Yeah. That is true.
So, I mean, like that's the internet. At like writers meeting, we were like I wasn't even thinking about it, but like one of the writers was taking into consideration that like, I'm a female. I'm a female. I'm a woman, I guess. Again, I hate labels, but the internet doesn't love women. And the internet's really rough with women.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I was like, oh, that's something else to consider.
In what context was he taking this into account?
My tone displaying, I think, too much. It was like, I mean, it was a smart note, and it wasn't like a big, we were all just brainstorming, but like it was, I saw where he was coming from, where it's like, I don't want to like go too hard in this moment on this character, and like it doesn't help that I'm a lady,
Oh, like there's
internet
certain,
trolls.
it's like with jokes, like some shit you can get away with because of who you are and what you look like and how you're
Yeah.
perceived, and some shit you can't. But women are definitely, but some of that I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna post this angry tweet because like it's funny. Like,
I
you know what I
like
mean?
that. I
It's
like
just
the fuck it.
yeah, sometimes you just gotta,
As long as it's not like like again, it's like the whole like do no harm type of thing. Like yeah, hell yeah, fuck it. If it's not hurting anyone, I'm all about fuck it
yeah.
safely. If
Fuck it
you
safely,
want.
fuck it with protection,
I've also gone years.
fuck it
without-
consensually.
you
No, I'm
know.
kidding.
Like it's just. Are there dudes who just? This is like I don't even know why I'm saying this out loud, but like, who are these dudes who don't think consent is sexy? I just want to know who they are.
Yeah, I wonder. Oh, I wonder. Like, I wonder if that. I don't think it's like a sexual thing, right? Isn't it?
What?
That's the whole like.
I mean,
everybody's like it's power or whatever.
There's one thing like with fantasy, but like there's another thing like if if I'm not interested in a truly imbalanced relationship, and I'm not even like interested in like quote unquote serious or quote unquote exclusive relationships, but like to me, I think like with any relationship, like close relationship I'm involved in, like there has to be like trust, communication, and friendship.
Yeah. Yeah, I think people just don't. They just want people to do what they want. They want control.
Yeah, and so like that's not. I mean, now it's like
they don't even know they don't want control. Like that's the thing, or that it's better beyond that.
yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, man, it's a conversation. It's
Paul, where are we at?
volleying.
Oh, just about an hour.
Oh,
Is there anything?
comedian timing.
Comedian timing. Watch me run the light in the next show. Is there anything else we should talk about today? I'm like out of it. I woke up from a nap.
Well, yeah, you've been like gone all weekend dealing with all that.
Family.
Travel is like a lot of wear and tear. I feel like I'm still recovering from like all of the the summer like shows, travel and all that.
Yeah.
It's just like it does take some wear and tear on the body for sure.
For sure.
We have shows coming up.
Our November. I was gonna say September. That's in the past. Our November show is
second Sunday, which is the 10th. November 10th.
9 p.m. Westside Comedy Theater.
And that is in Santa Monica, California. You know what would be really cool? Like if you guys like, if you enjoy this podcast or whatever, like if you could leave a review or high rating or like whatever on iTunes or what do they call it? Apple Music.
Yeah.
That'd be super dope. And like, we want to start like, like doing shout outs and like, so like slide in the
to
DMs.
Your friends. Post about it.
Yeah. I mean, like,
comment at us.
Yeah,
we want to be more interactive. We want to know who in Iowa is listening. I know there's at least 2 people in Iowa now from this conference.
That's wild.
That listen to this. Tell your friends and also comment on this. I know it might risk your careers. No, I'm kidding. It won't. Everything's on the internet.
Yeah, let's have a, like if you feel comfortable, let's have a dialogue, like and like all that shit helps. And then we have a Patreon. So if you guys like have ideas of what you want, let us know.
Now we're releasing the videos on YouTube on our YouTube, youtube.com/facial recognition comedy. I think, right? Do we have a YouTube?
We do have a YouTube.
We have a YouTube, but maybe just Google facial recognition comedy because I don't know if we have enough subscribers to get that URL. Get us that URL that we want.
Oh, you have to have a certain amount of subscribers to get that?
I think you have to have 100, which we can do. Come on.
Oh, yeah, that's totally doable.
Everybody go there. But we're uploading the videos there. So now our Patreon incentives are going to change, and we want to be more interactive. And also, if you want us in your city, like, tweet at us. Let us know. Tweet at the clubs there. We'll try to figure something out. We're trying to go on tour more.
Yeah, let us know. We're just trying to go where the love is, man.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, and if you like, yeah, let us know. I'd like to make some cool Patreon. How do you say it?
Patreon. Yeah.
Incentives.
Yeah. And that's patreon.com/facial recognition comedy.
Yeah.
Our website is facialrecognitioncomedy.com. Our Instagram and Facebook are also facial recognition comedy, and our Twitter is facial rec comedy.
You guys got that?
Did you get that?
The notes.
Do you see that thing that says facial recognition comedy in front of you? Click on that.
Google, man. Google right now. Google's the thing.
I'm Pallavi Ganalan.
Hey, Pallavi.
Hey, Fiz. PALLAVIGUNALAN. That's my Instagram, my Facebook, my Twitter, and my website. I also release videos. Both me and Fizaa are active on YouTube. My youtube.com/Pallavi Ganalan comedy.
My budding YouTube career.
Yeah, we're both starting shit. I have my Dirty Science web series on there and on IGTV, and I explain a scientific topic, and I do it in a comedic way.
Paul was taking a picture from like not my good angle.
Yeah, Paul, what the fuck?
So yeah, you can't like, oh, it was? Okay, yeah, I probably look like a slug. And I say that in the most loving way possible.
Love slug.
Yeah. I like slugs. I don't mean that. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you ever move them when they're in the middle of the thing and you're like, I got to save them? And do you move them?
Yeah, I tried to.
I'm afraid I'm gonna do more work. Paul eats them. I'm afraid I'm gonna like do damage to
cold. Yeah, I mean, like normally I'm just like, oh, like let me, suss it out. Like if they're in like
it. High
immediate
traffic
danger,
area. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, but
gotta
like,
save the slug.
it's like, oh, they don't have a, this is serendipitous
Yeah.
for me to dip in there. But like if it's like, pretty peaceful, everything's copacetic, I'm like, like let them enjoy. I don't know what the fuck it wants.
Yeah.
Who am I to like, poke my finger into fate and fuck shit up for it?
That's true. We have no idea where they're going after that.
I mean, might be trying to. I don't know. I was gonna like
get in the mind. We're gonna do Ants 2, 3. What is
yeah.
it? A Bug's Life 8.
Oh
all right. What's your stuff?
Socials. Fizaa Dasani. FIZAADOSANI on everything. Can I say that? Well, I'm from the South, so yeah. Because like I say that. Everything. You don't know, like, it's just
You're
like
so self-conscious now of all the things you say.
Aware. I want to say
Daddies.
conscious
Everything.
and aware.
Conscious and aware. Okay.
Just because I think it'll make the transition easy. Like I'm not trying to fucking butt heads unnecessarily. Like I got my own fucking drama in my head. Like anyway, yeah, FizaaDasani.com at FizaaDasani. Lots of cool new shit coming out. Doing the YouTube thing. This fucking new technology YouTube. I fucking discovered it. Yeah, everything's online. I don't want to like talk your ear off because you can just Google this. You probably stopped listening already.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure, like, because we always do, like, that. I like doing a little surprise thing at the end, like, so you do listen through it, and then it's like, well, but maybe you can fast forward, I don't know. It doesn't
I feel
matter.
like
I have to pee so bad.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Oh, and Zara's is really Zara.
Oh, yeah, shit. Okay, Zara.
ZAHRA.
Zara's on vacation. So, no, she's not on vacation. She's actually working. I just want to be on vacation. That's actually, like, my brain. So Zara is really Zara. Did you spell it?
Yeah.
No, okay.
ZAHRA.
Okay, yeah, really Zara and everything. Bye.
Bye.